back here is discombobulated? Would you not have noticed if I had never mentioned it? I don't know. So, there's a lot of conversation happening regarding the Spider-Man reboot in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And the conversations that are happening is, what is this going to be about? How is it going to happen? Who the friends are going to be? Who's the love interest? There shouldn't be a love interest, but conversation has happened regarding this. And the director, John Watts, has mentioned something regarding a comic book as something he's been looking at, something he's been reading about. We're going to discuss this, and I'm going to tie this to something that I think possibly could connect or could maybe not. He was having a conversation, an interview with Den of Geek. Den of Geek says, have you been looking at any comics in particular to help shape that? Because when I heard that, Ultimate Spider-Man was the first thing that sprung to mind regarding Spider-Man being in high school. John Watts' response is very, very interesting. He says, oh, I love that. Ultimate is great. I love Ultimate. We have the freedom to pull from anything. But I really like what Brian Michael Bendis did. A lot. That felt like that was Peter Parker back in high school. And spending as much time with his high school problems as it did with his superhero problems. Just keep that in your mind. Which I think is really a lot of fun. There's also some really funny comic stuff, like the Archies. I don't know if you've ever seen the Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane series, but they have this really great anime-style illustration, and it's all just about Peter Parker's relationships. It's like the soap opera Peter Parker in high school. Those are really funny, too. He then says, I'm just sitting around reading comic books all day. It's a pretty great job. So he's researching. Now, keep all that stuff in your mind. Next, a question was asked to John Watts regarding Miles Morales. Is Miles Morales going to be in this film? John Watts says this. I can't talk about that because, that will reveal too much. We're still writing the story. We haven't finished all the way through the story yet, so who knows? So, the question was basically, were there any serious discussions about choosing Miles over Peter? And he said he can't talk about that because that'll reveal too much. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to combine these two stories together. These stories being the Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane thing, this comic that centers around Peter Parker's relationships, and this comment on Miles Morales possibly being in the Spider-Man film and him not answering the question by saying he can't talk about that because it'll reveal too much. What if Miles Morales is in this film, and what if he is Spider-Man's friend? That could be interesting. That could possibly make some people mad. That could possibly make some people not. Would Miles Morales be younger? Would he be the same age? I don't know, because in the comics, Miles Morales is younger than Peter Parker, and Miles Morales also does not go to the same school as Peter Parker. So I'm not quite sure how they could be friends, and if they were to do that, then they would be going against the comics, which no movies have ever done. So why would they do that? Why would Marvel go against their own comics? I mean, they've never done that before, so why would they? Why start now? I'm not sure. Miles Morales being his friend could be interesting, though. It could really play on this dynamic that would be entirely different from things that we've seen, such as Harry Osborn. Because people are really tired of this Goblin thing. I don't know why. Probably because the Goblin hasn't been done correctly. Because we've seen a lot more iterations of the Joker, and no one's tired of the Joker. That's probably because the Joker has been done in different styles, but each style being unique and also being interesting. And not the same thing. Even though these Goblin portrayals have not been the same, it's just people are tired of it. I don't understand why, to be quite honest, but I think it maybe has something to do with the portrayal of the character. So, maybe Marvel's like, they're really tired of this Goblin. Let's just have Miles be there and Miles be his friend and Harry come down the line. I don't know. But I personally don't think they should do that. I think they should have the Harry and Peter dynamic, perhaps Eddie being an older brother figure, not even in high school with Peter, but more so a neighborhood friend, something like that. I think they could really do that. That could be interesting. Miles can be there. I'm not quite sure if they should do that. Me personally, I don't think I would do that. But it could be interesting, having a black friend, Peter having a black friend, oh my. But then again, with the origin of Miles Morales, I'm not quite sure if that's a place that they want to really go, and really should go. So I'm not sure about that. But in terms of the Mary Jane loves Spider-Man, and Spider-Man loves Mary Jane thing, I really pray to God that in this first film he does not have a love interest, and that this is entirely Peter Parker relationship story with us finding out who he is, finding out his friends, finding out the person he maybe likes, and him dealing with that along with his family and being Spider-Man. There's no time for us to have this love interest thing, okay? He's a child. Let him grow. Let him become a man, okay? A man. We want it. He's dealing with being Spider-Man. He's dealing with juggling all of that and being this scholar, this student. You know, he's dealing with that and his family. He's dealing with all of these things. How about we let him deal with that? Don't shove in this girlfriend just for the sake of needing to have a girlfriend. I've talked about this numerous times on this channel, and I'll continue to. Okay. So what do you guys think about that? Would you be alright with Miles Morales being Peter Parker's friend? I mean, again, my thing is Miles Morales in the comics, he's younger than Peter. They could still play it that way. I'm not sure. The only reason why I think about this is because of the aspect of John Watts not answering this question. Now, what I also think about is him not answering the question for the very fact that he doesn't want to. So he says, I can't talk about that because, that will reveal too much. That if I say yes or no, it'll reveal too much. If I say no, you're like, oh, he's not there. If I say yes, you're like, oh, he's there. So he could be doing that as well. He could be just, I don't know. But the conversation is now there. Would Miles Morales be a good friend of Peter Parker? Would that piss you off? Would they have to completely go against the origin of Miles Morales? Yes, that would be going against the comics. What do you think about this? Let's have that conversation in that comment section down below. As always, I thank you all for watching. I am Venom 2 Million, in case you did not know. And I'm a college student. Ho, ho, ho. What was that? I don't know. See you down in that comment section. Social networks down there. Peace! Do you mind that back here is discombobulated? Would you not have noticed if I had never mentioned it? I don't know. Don't you just hate sneezing? I just sneezed like about 17,000 times, and now my sinuses are all weird and my face feels weird, and yeah. Now, back to the topic. One moment. Oh, God. I like ripped the tissue. Don't worry, I'm not sick. Ew. One moment. Stay right there. Stay right there. I had to wash my hands. Now I gotta dry them. One moment. Okay. Now to the video. So, there's a lot of conversation happening regarding
Venom 2 Million.